hurricane, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're burying me, burying me. Yeah, you're burying me, burying me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy by the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my head again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the barren wasteland that is What If 1872. I am, of course,
Make it sound
Oleg-
bad. You make the episode sound bad, dude.
No,
Jeez.
it's the barren wasteland of this episode. We'll talk more about it in a minute. I am, of course, Oled Ed Fries. This is my tag team partner, reluctant as always, Andre C., or at least 2/3 of him.
I am never reluctant to tag with you. I just prefer to tag with Mel.
I know.
I
I
prefer to
the
tag with that.
commentary yesterday.
You prefer to tag with Astrid. I prefer to tag with Mel. Yeah.
I mean, preferences aside.
Let's. I'm down for a 4-way battle on Sunday.
We'll see. Anyways, Marvel What If Miss continues with episode 6, What If 1872. A very random question. It didn't give us a lot of information.
No.
However, as we get into the episode, we find out a little bit more, and Marvel almost going and breaking its own rules. We talked a little bit the other day about, rules being broken with Marvel, about how we only get characters that we've seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to be able to be in these What If episodes. However, initially, right out of the gate, they tease us verbally with talk of the Hood, a character that will in the future be brought to life by Anthony Ramos in Ironheart later on in 2025.
Okay, so it's fine. It's fine.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying it was the first time Marvel kind of introduced to us a character that we are going to see in live action, because Birdie and Kaori don't technically.
Oh, they don't exist outside of this show. Exactly.
There's nothing in the works that says that they're going to exist. They may exist in the future in this multiverse saga. We might see these characters portrayed in live action. But as of right now, there are no plans and no rumors of seeing them do it. However, hearing the name The Hood is a character we know for certain that we're seeing, and that we've seen pictures of and video of without actually seeing any actual, anything in action with this character. And that got me intrigued for this episode when I started watching it.
Yeah.
Andre, this is one of your favorites.
This
was one of the episodes you were very excited for. So why don't you go ahead and take the lead a little bit on this one and talk about 1872?
I just watched it this morning. I've only seen it once, man. Full recap of this thing. Oh, it's a really good episode. I had a fun episode. Yeah, take the lead. But I had honestly, I really thought it was a good episode. Like, I was really looking forward to seeing we saw last season with the was the 1600s,
1602.
and like the Robin Hood style thing. I really liked the this version we saw here, and the opening with kind of like that burning film, like you see like on the old westerns, kind of. I really liked that. That was cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of really good stuff about this episode. And like I said, I'm actually very happy with this episode. I've liked the time travel episodes that they do. I like displacing characters that might not react with each other into different time periods. We see a bar saloon fight and somebody's using a gun to shoot the bell tower. And this is the genius of this episode. They don't give Shang-Chi 10 rings like in the comic, actual McLuhan rings.
10 rings.
10 rings of a bell. If you ring a bell 10 times, Shang-Chi will show up. That is fantastic. I love, love that.
Yeah. Well, that was actually a pretty cool little element. And he's like, it's 9. Well, I thought it was 8. Has to be precise. 10 rings. And I'm like, oh, Shang-Chi doesn't. I literally, at that moment when Shang-Chi doesn't have his rings, does he? He's just a fighter.
But I didn't mind him not having his rings because they're still doing the 10 rings of Shang-Chi. Like, it all makes sense in a multiverse saga because, again, even in the MCU, he doesn't really have the 10 rings that he's supposed to have because he doesn't have the McLuhan 10 rings on his fingers, which is how they are in the comics. These ringed bands, like bracelets.
Yeah.
We find out from the Watcher, our wonderful narrator here, that this is a universe in which Xia Li, his sister, Shang-Chi's sister, I can never pronounce her name right. Xia Ling. Sorry, Xia Ling. Ran away to America to avoid her father. And Shang-Chi went to follow her. And she gets kidnapped by the Hood, and it's now up to Shang-Chi to go ahead and find her. Meanwhile, he's teamed up with Hawkeye, otherwise known as Kate Bishop in this universe, which again is fantastic. And by the way, bringing back Simu Liu, bringing back Haley Steinfeld, the newly engaged Haley Steinfeld. Congratulations, Josh Allen. That'll be the biggest win of your entire season, no matter if you win the Super Bowl or not.
For Christmas, my mother got me the complete 1 to 22 of the first volume of the Matt for Action run of Hawkeye.
Oh, so good.
And it has Young Avengers #6 in it. Dude, it's gorgeous, and the art is amazing, and this is the run that the Hawkeye show was based on, where had taken a lot of influence from, at least in its graphics.
However, the character that we're here fighting against in this bar fight saloon is John Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Wyatt Russell's own John Walker. Wyatt Russell.
And it's Wyatt Russell. It's Wyatt Russell doing the voice.
Which again, I love. I think they hit a home run with a lot of these with this episode and the last episode. I thought these last 2 episodes were both home runs. Shang-Chi throws his hat in the air, and him and Kate Bishop start fighting everybody. And it's
her just shooting everybody. He's just punching the shit out of everybody. It was great.
Yep. And it's a bunch of people, and it's a fun little fight sequence. But my favorite part of this isn't necessarily the fight sequence.
No,
it's the fact that he catches the hat before it hits the ground. The fight is over before his hat hits the ground. Mm-hmm. So good.
Yeah.
I love little pieces like that give you a time element to things without making it seem like we're working with a time deadline. We talked about time deadlines in the last episode. I thought this was a really interesting way to do something similar, but different. But Shang-Chi wants to find the Hood.
Is this where Shank? Is this? Oh no, it's not. This isn't where the Watcher came in yet, right? Watcher
No,
hasn't come in yet.
we're,
Right?
we're still early. We're still very early in the episode at
Okay,
this point.
sorry. I
So
apologize.
no, it's okay. It's fine. In the end, Walker's the only one left alive, but unfortunately, nobody knows where to find the hood. But he says that he's taking the Chinese immigrants who are working on the railroads, which is a terrible part of American history, but is a part of American history. That a lot of these Chinese immigrants were coming over and they were creating the railroad from the west to the east. So it makes sense. It's historical in a sense. It's not a great part of our history, but it is part of our history. So they go on to another town trying to find out where the hood went next. And they continue to find this
It's Point Pegasus.
Point Pegasus. Okay. Thank you very much.
Which is a reference to Captain Marvel.
Yeah, the Pegasus facility.
Pegasus project, yeah.
So they go to another one where nobody is left alive. It's a burning village, basically. It's already been ransacked. However, there's one child that lived. One child. Kate gives him water, and he says that his father was taken by the hood and that they need to find him. This is an interesting piece because this child is very well versed in the martial arts.
Oh, you skipped the Watcher.
Well, we haven't got there yet.
No, the Watcher's original first scene in the show was before they find the kid because it went to credits here, and the Watcher comes in.
Okay.
I like it because he's talking about how the worlds are weird, and there's a lot of weird worlds out there. And he shows Throg and the alligator Loki.
Yeah, it's Throg and alligator Loki. He shows an Ultron that did show tunes.
Crossbones is a pirate.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine.
I just love those little things.
I agree. I didn't think it was vastly important to talk about, but I do appreciate those two. I thought that they were great. There was some fun in them, but like at the end of the day, it wasn't too consequential to the episode.
Yeah, but it's still worth talking about.
But yes, John Fan is a local boy who was left alive here. Yeah. The moves he was using were very familiar to me from the Netflix universe.
Yeah, and he's one of the earlier Iron Fists in the comics.
He is indeed the Iron Fist, and we'll talk about more about that later. Kate and Shang-Chi try to leave him here, but unfortunately this child is hell-bent on coming with them, which might not have been the greatest idea to take a child along with you while you're trying to hunt down a maniacal killer. But, it's Marvel, and that's what you do. I mean, you couldn't just leave him there by himself with nobody to help take care of him, so they were really out of options. They find that there's some kind of a train track that's there. It's not an actual track, but it feels like there's some kind of a track there. We find out that he's running a ghost train, powered off what seemed like Tesseract technology. Did that seem like to you it was some kind of like Tesseract technology?
It feels like it because of the blue glowingness of it, or I was thinking maybe Wakandan technology. Because again, if you remember,
Wakandan technology typically glows purple, even if a bluish shade of purple.
No, there was a lot of blue in that episode. Because Killmonger's glowed gold, Panthers glow purple, but a lot of when you saw them down in the mines fighting, everything was blue.
True.
All the machines had a blue glow to it. So I was thinking Wakandan technology, maybe. Yeah, maybe. We reveal more technology inside.
Yes, they get inside this train and they claim that it's all Stark tech.
Yeah.
They claim these are things created by a version of Tony Stark that would have existed at this period of time. They're mostly talking about guns.
Or Howard.
These are mostly muskets and other forms of gun
revolvers, things like that. Yeah.
Gun warfare. Nothing astronomical except for the engine that powers this ghost train.
Mm-hmm.
We say it's more of a ghost train when we continue going through this train. We find hypnotized and tranced, not dead like in Moon Knight, but hypnotized and tranced people all sitting on the train, just patiently waiting for them to be brought back to life, seemingly. And this little boy is searching for his father. And I didn't think anything of it until he started talking in Mandarin. And I'm like, ooh, that, for some reason, him talking in Mandarin, trying to find his father, like that desperation of now talking in his native tongue hit me a little closer than I thought it would.
All right. It didn't really hit me that way. Again, it was good. I was like, I felt for the kid, but it didn't hit me like down deep or anything. I also don't like children, so
we then get one of Andre's favorite parts of this episode. I'm almost certain Walter Goggins is here.
Yeah, I love Walton Goggins, man. He's so good. He did a great job voicing the character in this episode.
He did. It was broadly fine.
Yeah, I thought he was entertaining. Walton Goggins.
I thought it was weird that he was here, but then again, that's what If is, so I'm going to leave it be because it's at least semi-understandable. But it seemed odd. But I like him. I like his character. I wish they would do more of him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because I thought he was a very interesting character. He says that, you don't have to worry. You don't have to fight your way through me to get to the Hood. The Hood wants to see you anyways, Mr. Shang-Chi. So they go ahead and take him. They take him there. He says, well, let me take off my hat. No. We don't need violence, Shang-Chi. No need to take your hat off. We're more than happy to take you right there. Just bide your time and we'll take you right to the Hood, sir.
Because they know if he throws his hat off, it's fighting time. So...
Agreed, but I like the idea that like the villain's like no, you don't need to fight. We'll willingly take you exactly where you want to go. We'll give you the thing you want, which doesn't always what villains do, especially in wrestling. It's that sometimes you like the heel that doesn't want to run away, and he's like no, you want something here, you can have your something. You're gonna regret it, but I can give you the something you want.
Oh, sounds terrible, just like NXT. I'm kidding. NXT's great.
NXT's great except for Lola Vice. We move on to this episode where we've now separated Kate Bishop with Walter Goggins and Shang-Chi meeting with the Hood. And the Hood is trying to convince Shang-Chi to join him, and the Hood is like, no. And Shang-Chi's like, nope, that's not happening. The only thing I'm here for is my sister. That's all I want. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. I need my sister back.
And we got a pretty goddamn good fight out of this, too.
And it was a fantastic fight. We'll get back to Kate Bishop later. I want to stick with the Shang-Chi portion, and then we can kind of... Because they went very back and forth.
Let's cut back and forth and make it very confusing, like it was.
But they were trying to tell the stories in line with this happens, and while that's happening, this is happening. And I appreciate that in terms of a visual standpoint.
Yeah.
But in terms of an audio, review standpoint, it's tough to do.
Yeah, let's just
We'll
talk
stick to Shang-Chi here, and then we'll do the Kate Bishop stuff afterwards.
And we'll bring it all together at the end.
So Shang-Chi goes ahead and has the fight with the Hood until the Hood falls off a little bit. And we reveal it's Xiling anyways.
Yeah. And the thing I was thinking, they're doing the Dragon Ball Z instant transmission thing throughout this fight because she just keeps appearing and disappearing in different spots, kicking the shit out of them. It was great.
But I love the idea that that's fine because the Hood is a mystical kind of character. And it's a mystical character in a way we haven't seen before because it mixes science and magic all in one. We've seen Thor say that what you call magic is science. We've seen Doctor Strange do magic. And now we're seeing a mix of the two with what the Hood does with having made a deal with Mephisto and having powers beyond the reach of a normal human. Which is
makes complete sense.
Which again makes complete sense, and it makes this so great.
Mephisto confirmed for Ironheart.
No. Well, sort of. There's rumored that Sacha Baron Cohen is in that series playing a version of Mephisto.
Oh no!
But anyways,
that's a terrible choice of an actor to play Mephisto.
We'll get to that later. During this fight, Shang-Chi, it's revealed that Xiling killed the Hood, and that the Hood is itself the evil. Like it embraces the evilness inside of you. She's like, no, I'm not a bad guy. I'm here liberating these people from, what they've been forced to do, and then we're going to take over this country and make it the way make it the American dream that we were promised. And again, a villain having a logical and reasonable argument for why they do the terrible things they do is a fantastic motivator.
Just like Thanos was right.
Yes, the Thanos was right ideology of...
Oh, I agree with Thanos was right. The world needs to be chopped in half.
Agree to disagree. But I thought this was great. And then the continued fight scene between Shang-Chi and his sister, to the point where she's like, look, if you want to kill the Hood, you're going to have to kill me. And if you want me back, you're going to have to kill me anyways, because I am doing this, whether you like it or not. So if you're not going to join me, you're going to have to kill me. And Shang-Chi decides, look, I'm going to stop fighting now, because I can't kill you, and I don't believe in your heart of hearts that you could kill me. And she tries. But we'll leave that there, and now we're going to go back to Kate Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
So, while all of this is going on between Shang-Chi and the Hood, we have Walter Goggins and his men keeping an eye on Kate Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes ahead and pulls out his pocket watch. And it starts playing a magical little ditty that apparently hypnotizes and makes people more susceptible to coercion, to being manipulated. It's not necessarily full hypnosis, but it's definitely a version of hypnosis. Because it's not like this happens and she instantly becomes a pawn to him. It's that it makes the mind suggestible. And the more the mind is suggestible, the more you can be manipulated, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was really fun. I thought this was really interesting.
And then he makes some revelations.
Yeah. She finds out that this is how they were keeping hold of all of the immigrants to keep them under control. This is why they were all those mindless zombies, is because they're hearing the song. And I'm like, all right, cool. We're tying together the bits of the episode that didn't make a ton of sense. We're tying it all together. And then, in true villainy, like always, oh, you thought that was the bad guy? No, Miss Kate Bishop, I'm the bad guy in your story.
Well, I'm your bad guy.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was saying in her story.
Yeah.
Because earlier she had said that the Hood killed her family, when indeed it wasn't the Hood. Walter Goggins here reveals that it is himself that killed her
Sonny
family.
Birch. Sonny Birch is a murderer.
I always forget that his character's name isn't Walter Goggins, because it's such a great Marvel character name.
I was going to say, Walton Goggins didn't do that. It was this character, Sonny Birch.
Who knows? Maybe Walter Goggins killed Haley Steinfeld's family. We don't know the truth.
Wow, that's some dark shit right there.
I'm just saying. It's a possibility in one of the multiverses.
But
anyways, this leads to her finding out that information, breaking the mind control.
Whoa. Give it to Iron Fist for breaking that mind control right there.
Well, yes, he hits him in the dick with a punch.
No, no, Iron Fist rings the bell. The little baby Iron Fist rings the bell to break the trance of everybody.
Oh, is that what happened? I forget.
Yeah,
I remember he runs away by hitting two guys in the dink.
Okay, he runs away. He's on top of the train. The Watcher comes in and flicks the guys off the train.
Okay, yeah.
And then he observes everything happening, and then he rings the bell to inspire Shang-Chi and it breaks the spell of the watch thing, and even all the people on the train get released too, and then Kate Bishop kills everybody.
Oh, she wins her fight.
Yeah.
Now we bring all these stories back together. Little Iron Fist is on top of the train, which is something I did forget, and thank you for reminding me of that. And the Watcher thing is going to come into play in just a little bit, so thank you for reminding me of that.
Watcher went flick.
We then see Kate Bishop trying to eye down the Hood, and she shoots the Hood. Unfortunately for her, Xiling is the hood and not the hood that was supposed to be.
Mhm.
And Shang-Chi is sad, and he takes his sister in his arms, and they have a meaningful goodbye here.
They do.
And Kate goes, "Oh my God, Shang, I had no idea that this was her. If I knew, I never would have shot." And he's like, "No, you didn't kill my sister. The hood did." Understands that what Kate did is Kate did the right thing. Kate killed the evil presence that was living in his sister, that was making his sister do the terrible things. While it was his sister, it wasn't really who she was. And I'm like, that's cool. That's an interesting thing. Nice for because that could have started a whole new thing between her and Shang-Chi.
It really could have.
It could have, and it might have been interesting if there were going to be more seasons. Maybe it would have. But he understands that she did the right thing. She didn't know any better. And more importantly, he knew his sister needed to be stopped. And if he couldn't do it, at least somebody did. And this story has a happy ending. We get the child recanting the tales of what happened and showing off his powers. And
somebody makes an Iron Fist reference.
I believe it was Kate who made some kind of, he's got those iron fists. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Hey, at least it's not Danny Rand.
Oh, thank God it's not Danny Rand. Nothing worse than
Hashtag bring back Danny Rand.
Hashtag no more Danny Rand.
Hashtag Danny Rand for the MCU. Played by Finn Jones.
All right. We now move on to the end of our episode. Right before the episode ends, we see the Watcher, and he's like, look, everything turned out okay. And then all of a sudden, the other Watchers come. And we hear, alongside the Incarnate and the Executioner, we hear the Eminence himself, Jason Isaacs. And he says, you've broken your oath again, and we cannot allow you to continue doing this. And they pin the Watcher to the edge of his observational plane, and a few shards of his observational plane fall into a universe. And that's where the episode ends.
I wonder where those could have gone. Like,
I can tell you because I've watched the first 5 minutes of the new episode.
Oh, I watched the whole thing.
Okay, I watched the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but yes, we're setting up for our big finale. In terms of me and Andre with this, we've had a discussion, and what we're going to do is we're going to combine episodes 7 and 8 as one, because in the story, that's essentially what they're going to be. They're going to be a 2-part episode.
It is very much going to be a 2-parter.
So tomorrow afternoon, after Point of View, about a half an hour, 45 minutes after Point of View, Andre and I are going to go live on Sunday, and we're going to go ahead and talk all things the finale, the series finale of What If. Episodes 7 and 8, we'll talk about the series as a whole. We'll give our thoughts and whether or not this did anything good or bad for the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a higher, plane look at it. Andre, I know you guys had your big Japanese wrestling update last night, but go ahead and tell the good people what you've got coming up this week, because you've got a big week of wrestling coming.
2 weeks. So if you want to get a preview of what me and Melanie will be talking about for the next 2 weeks, go watch Japanese Wrestling Update. We went on a ramble style. We went over 2 hours on this show. I think we were at like 2 hours and 20 minutes by the time we finished. So yeah, go check that out. You can see me tomorrow on Point of View as me and Ed chat sports with Bobby, but not Mark.
Yes, Mark is unfortunately unavailable for us, so it'll just be the 3 of us.
Mark's a jerk, and he doesn't want to show up. He's a jerk, and he didn't want to show up, and because he's the best part of that show.
I believe he's at the Reddit game tomorrow. I believe he's at the Reddit game tomorrow.
He wants to go read at a game. What a dolt.
Yeah. If you want to see more of Andre Melball wrestling talking, you can of course catch him at the great A Plus Productions, whether it be on Facebook or at aplusproductions.com on the interwebs.
We're recording our best and worst of with A Plus Productions tomorrow afternoon, so that will be coming out over the next week or two. So check out the best and worst ofs with myself, Melball, Boris, Matt, and Paul Yorkie from A Plus Productions.
And of course, Always support our good friend Mike the Ref at all of his wonderful places, whether it be youtube.com/backbreaker video, whether it be at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. Mike the Ref does fantastic coverage of AEW and has some great wrestling content, gaming content as well. So definitely go ahead and check out our good friend Mike the Ref. He is fantastic. We love him to death here. And of course, if you want to follow Mel Ball, you can do it at these places right here. Just don't follow her in real life because that's creepy.
Do it. Creep her out. Do it. I give you permission.
Of course, you can find me on Twitter and Blue Skies at edfries12584. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/edfries2002. I've only got really one more show coming. I have 2 more shows coming up the rest of the year. I got Point of View this Sunday. And then Monday night, we're going to be having a nice little special. Not
3
you.
shows. There's still this show. There's 3 shows left.
3 shows. Sorry, I keep forgetting about you. We have 3 shows coming up, but the last of my shows will be Monday night. It'll be the end of my 2024 on our local establishment, as I am hosting my 3rd annual end of year award show, where I'll be talking with people who know their content the best, content creators who create who create fantastic content over a variety of different wrestling places. We're going to be talking male wrestler of the year, female wrestler of the year, show of the year, and match of the year. And we're even going to be giving our predictions as to who we think is going to be a breakout star in 2025 in Ring of Honor with Auntie Collins and Akemi Sokol. We're going to go ahead and have Mel Ball going ahead and representing all of Japanese wrestling, talking about all of those great promotions. And of course, we're going to be having my good friend Conrad from Everything Pro Wrestling talking all things AEW, while I lead the helm for all things WWE/NXT. Well, it's going to be a whole bunch of good fun. We're greatly excited for this show. It's one of my favorite shows of the year because I get to work with people who I don't generally get to work with on a weekly basis, to go ahead and put together some content that's a little bit different. And it doesn't just make people give guesses on a wide ranging of professional wrestling. It brings in people who create content specifically devoted to the shows that they watch. So it gives an eye to people who understand the ins and outs of their own particular products, which I think is something that a lot of wrestling programs don't get the ability to do, because the people that come on represent everything and you don't get a real good idea of everything based on a high overview if you're watching 17 hours of professional wrestling every week. So we want to thank you for joining us again. We'll be back tomorrow. And then What If Miss will be over after tomorrow, but Marvel Talk will not. We'll be back in the new year talking all kinds of fantastic Marvel stuff. We'll have a big calendar ready in the near future. But for Andre C., I have been OLED. This has been Marvel Talk, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.